these are the designs of the characters, these are the references. So she has that wolf, what is that, wolf scarf? I don't know if that's alive or not, but that's not our business. There's a specific guide on how the clothes should be. Just this, and then the boots. The second character references are more complicated, and what I did was just combine these ideas into one. He has this tactical look, and some weapons on the arm, and this motorcycle. I really love how my client put all these things together, and it makes the job more easier. It makes it more like I want to work more. Bro, the amount of effort that I put into getting this storage installed on my PC was crazy. Why did I not notice that sooner? I just noticed that very late, and it's already been 2 hours when I realized that it was the RAM. I wanted to have a shortcut. It turns out I can't take a shortcut because you need to remove this one before you can install that one, because the gap where you put your hand in it is just too small. You can't install that one without removing this one. The first thing that I did was just do a perspective grid so the character will have a better perspective to sit on. This is just a basic box. I always do this. So this is just a simple box, and after you did this box, you can just do this lines afterwards. Now the characters are sketched out. This is just a rough representation of the characters. I really want to emphasize the size of their body type, because this one has a large body. He has a broad shoulder. He looks very huge with his small head. And this girl has a larger head than her body. So then it will emphasize that she is smaller than this guy. When I updated him about the first sketch, he says something about the height, that the height difference is just 5'10" and 5'9" because it's his and his partner, so he wants to do a realistic height difference. But then as an artist, we want to have the best result, and yes, we should deliver what the client wants, but this doesn't mean that we shouldn't have our own opinion, because we have this artistic mind and they don't. That's why they come to us. Making his character much taller is a very good decision because it emphasizes the height difference. That's what I suggest, and it doesn't harm him. I said that, but if we really can't change it, let me know. So it's just a suggestion. It's just an opinion. Don't be shy when you're talking about these things because you're an artist. And he has a very positive reply to it. He says that, I see what you mean. Yes, we can definitely do that then. So the idea was they are camping in a snowy setting, so it's kind of sweet. And we have some chickens here too, and this was their motorcycle. After I've done this, I actually thought that a motorcycle on a snowy place was a very weird thing to do, right? They should have bought a snowboard, something like that, or a transportation that is made for a snowy setting. I really want to sell the mood that they're shy with each other, and this guy is kind of feeling the fire, maybe doing something just to be not awkward in the situation that they're in. And this girl was kind of looking for a way not to be awkward by what's going on. So she's just staring at this, whatever they're cooking. I want to build a mysterious feel and look on these guys, so then the character is more prominent. I'm really focusing on having a contrast between the blue hue of the cold place and a warm hue of the fire from the fireplace. I really enjoy painting this background, not as much as I do with other projects, and this one I very enjoyed it. The design of this guy gives a dangerous look on him. It gives a dangerous character. He has this tactical vest, he has these weapons on his arm installed. He has these grenades all around his body, and he's like built like a killing machine. But in this case, I want to add a very strong contrast on his character where he looks deadly, but here in this phase of it, he is very vulnerable. He is being gentle here. So the technique that I've used here is I first looked at the light source and then applied it on where I think the light will hit the characters, how things behave when light hit them, how light bends, such as that. The way the lighting hits the character and the things around them isn't realistic, because some of the things are hitting them and some of the things aren't. So you see this circle here. I did this circle to know where the light will end. So in some style it will fade, but I don't want to do any airbrushes or any fades on my illustration. I want a sharp look. I want a stylized look for it. What I did here was, if there is a light source, that light will have a radius on where it will end. So for example, in this one, for example, this is the light source. It will end at some point depending on how strong the light is. And here, usually fire this big doesn't really do much, but that's why I said the lighting here is unrealistic, because something like this will just light up around here. Just for aesthetic reasons, it should hit the characters. And one of the things that is unrealistic on this illustration was, this guy is very tall, that the light shouldn't be hitting his face, and so the light will just end up here, right? Because this is a sphere. The radius was sphere, something like this. There's a part of layer in the character that is in one layer, and the second layer was in a lighting layer. I have this layer. This layer is for the shadow, and this one is where I can play around with. So this is the base, and this one is I can put some darker shadows or maybe bounce light, but it's in the family of shadow. With this one, this is the light layer. So this is the lighting in flat, so it's just lighting. And then this one layer is where I can play around with. So you see that those darker shade of light, it's not a shadow necessarily, it's in the family of the light. So there's some highlights there because the highlights are in the family of the light. I don't know, I'm not really doing this approach that much, but in this case I've just experimented a bit and it turns out it looks great. It's an efficient way to do your paintings and I kind of enjoyed it. There's a lot of way to achieve the goal. There's a lot of styles or procedures, systems that you build on how you work things out when you're doing some drawings or doing the illustration. But the most important thing I think was you need to enjoy the process when you're doing this. Because I have an approach before that I don't enjoy that much because it's very boring. I'm leaning toward that process more often because I'm used to that. But this process here that I did, this system that I did here, I enjoyed it very much. This is how most painters work. So this is shadow and this is a shadow where you can play around with it, and this is the light and this is where you can play around with it. So that's how I do it. And then I added this layer. I turned the black lines into a darkish red, something like this, so it has more light, just to add some flavor into the drawing. I just experimented on this one, but it turns out great too. So this is very stylized decision that I did, and added the fire, the glow, and then some twink on that, just to make it, just to add some spices. Then this one, added those shadows. Also added the snowflakes. Is that what you call that? But just how the snow falls. And I added some glow on it. So I just duplicated the layer. This is the layer one, and then duplicated the layer, add a blur on it, and put it in color dodge mode. That's how I do it. The client pretty much enjoyed this one. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a lot, and I'll see you again very soon, I think.